What are the creepiest haunted dolls around the world? Welcome, Friday Night Ghost Frights from Haunted Road Media. I'm author and ghost historian Mike Ricksecker. Explore with us. Around the world are several haunted dolls that totally creep people out or have a chilling ghost story associated with it. Which ones are the creepiest? The Okiku doll in Japan. This mysterious hair-growing doll in Japan is said to be possessed by the spirit of a little girl who used to play with it. Residing in a temple since 1983, the doll's most unique quality is that its human hair continues to grow. The sad tale behind it is that the 2-year-old who used to play with it on a daily basis died of an illness, and the family placed it in the household altar. Sometime later, the doll's short cropped hair began to grow and is now 25 centimeters in length. The Letta Doll in Australia is one that is totally creepy to me. This doll was discovered by an Australian in 1972 underneath the porch of an abandoned house that had scared him for years. Letta was made with real human hair and is believed to have been created by a Romanian gypsy about 200 years before its discovery. The doll is said to move on its own, occasionally screams, "Letta me out," which is how the doll got its name, makes hanging pictures fall from walls sometimes when it enters a room, and dogs bark wildly when near it, or they refuse to go near it at all. There's the Pulau Ubin Barbie in Singapore. A shrine in Pulau Ubin, Singapore is dedicated to a little German girl who fell off a nearby cliff and died when running from the British Army investigating her parents back in 1914. In 2007, a man had the same dream 3 nights in a row about the little girl, leading him to a toy store to buy a Barbie doll. After the 3rd night, he went to the store, bought the Barbie he had seen in his dream, and placed it at the shrine. Of course, people now believe that shrine is haunted. The Mandy doll, the Quesnel Museum in British Columbia, Canada. The porcelain doll known as Mandy was made in England or Germany sometime between 1910 and 1920 and was donated to the Quesnel Museum in British Columbia in 1991. The donor claimed to hear crying in the middle of the night, which did not go away until after she gave away Mandy. At the museum, employees say that since the doll has been there, odd things like pencils, books, and even lunches go missing or are seemingly misplaced. They also claim that Mandy cannot be encased with other dolls because she will harm them. The Haunted Harold doll. Harold is considered to be the first haunted doll ever sold on eBay, and one of its early owners recounts her paranormal experiences with the doll in the Haunted Road Media anthology Encounters with the Paranormal. After acquiring the doll, her experiences included the sudden strange deaths of 2 people that had come near the doll and sudden unexplained illnesses. The current owner, who has had Harold since 2004, believes there are many entities inside of the doll, also attributes untimely deaths of ones close to him to Harold, and has heard of people becoming very ill after taking photographs of the doll. Robert the Doll in Florida. Originating in Germany, this doll was given by his aunt to 4-year-old Robert Eugene Otto in Florida in 1904. Upon receiving the doll, Gene stated he would then be called Gene, and the doll be called Robert. The idea from his aunt was that Robert could be Gene's friend until Gene made some real friends. However, Gene didn't really make very many real friends, and he and Robert became inseparable. It was said that when they were alone together, 2 voices could be heard talking and giggling. Objects moved about the house, and whenever something turned up missing or broken, Gene would blame Robert. When Gene moved away and got married, neighbors claimed they routinely saw Robert in the window scowling at them. When Gene moved back when his mother grew ill, Gene's wife despised the strange attachment her husband had with the doll. There was also a time in which a plumber ran screaming from the house when the doll scowled at him and giggled. Was the doll really haunted, or is it possible that telekinetic energy from Gene made Robert the doll seemingly come alive? After Gene passed away, the doll was donated to the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West. It is now said that one must ask permission of Robert to take his picture. Otherwise, the photographer will become cursed. The Island of the Dolls in Mexico. The legend of the Island of the Dolls is that island caretaker Don Julian Santana Barrera came upon a drowned little girl, and shortly later, a doll which he presumed to be hers. In order to honor the little girl, he decided to hang the doll in a tree, and any doll he came upon thereafter, he also hung in her honor. Over time, a large collection of deteriorating dolls made the island look extremely creepy. Some visitors to the island claim they hear the dolls whispering to each other. In an ironic twist, when Barrera passed away in 2001, he was found in the same canal in which he claimed he had found the little girl. The real Annabelle doll, not to be confused with the Annabelle doll from the Conjuring movie universe. The famous Annabelle doll, a large Raggedy Ann doll, came to Ed and Lorraine Warren's attention when a nursing student began having problems with the doll her mother gave to her as a gift in 1970. She put the doll on her bed, and within days she began to notice that the doll would change positions and move around. Eventually, the haunting got to the point in which the Annabelle doll attempted to strangle a friend of the nurse. Through a psychic medium, the nurse and her friends were told that the spirit of Annabelle Higgins, a little girl that used to live on the property, wanted to inhabit the doll so she could stay and be loved. When the Warrens became involved, they stated that this spirit was an inhuman presence, using the doll to eventually inhabit a human host. The Warrens took the doll home, but the activity didn't stop. Annabelle would move from room to room, and on separate occasions, it seemingly struck out at both a young priest and a young couple by causing vehicular accidents after each mocked the doll. The Annabelle doll is now famously locked away inside a protective case with a sign affixed to it that reads, "Warning, positively do not open." Of course, Annabelle inspired the doll that is featured in both the Conjuring and Annabelle movie series, and you can find out more details about the doll in our full Annabelle video, which I'll link here. Is Shauna's Zara the zombie doll haunted? Probably not, but we have seen her successfully used as a trigger object up in Molly's room at the Mineral Springs Hotel, an extremely haunted room on the top floor of the haunted hotel.
You know how when you have a campfire and up smoke, yeah, like when the flame, it like makes the area around it like shimmer a little bit. Like,
That's from the heat waves.
that's what I was seeing in between me and the doll.
Can you hear us, Molly? What did you feel?
I don't know. It was just really sad. My throat started closing up.
And if you want to learn more about haunted dolls such as Annabelle and Robert the Doll, check out our other videos off to the side. I'm Mike Ricksecker. Till next Friday night.